Welcome back, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Super Hanukkah, Festivus for the rest of us to all, and to all a wonderful evening. My name is Chris, and this is the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. With me tonight, as always, are the lovable Dean DeFalco.
Who's apparently a horse.
Apparently a horse. No, he's a reindeer. And you, my friend, are the ever-jolly Dan.
Ho, ho, hello?
Wow.
So much enthusiasm, Dan.
And, God, see, you know, I was about to say keeping the Yuletide gay is Tiff, but that doesn't make any sense.
I'll take it, though.
Awesome. Keeping the Yuletide gay is Tiff.
Woohoo.
That wasn't very gay. You sounded not happy at all.
Sorry.
Clearly excited to be here.
But I am excited.
It's the holidays. Everyone is tired.
Yeah.
Now, well, let's see. We've got teachers and retail workers here, so.
And moms.
And moms, yes. Well, mom. I think you're the only mom on the podcast.
There are several of me. I multitask.
Wait, are you Pikmin?
Ooh, that would be awesome. I want to be Pikmin.
No.
I want to have Pikmin.
Just imagining Dan plucking you out of the ground in multitude and throwing you around the house.
You would love that.
Clean this. Whang. Wow, that was like the most masochistic fucking thing I could say. And chauvinistic. Plunk. Clean this. That's my go-to.
Sure you want a sandwich? The internet tells us that there must be sandwiches.
Well, you know, if Tiff is saying it, it's A-okay.
That's right.
It's true.
I do make a hell of a sandwich.
She does.
Apologies to my gender.
Anyway, back on topic. It's the holidays, and this is the holiday episode of the Stone Age Gamer. We have had a few holiday musical cues for the first 2 weeks of the month, because it's December and 'tis the season. But tonight we're going to be talking about Christmas-themed games and our favorites and our loves for them. I, for one, have a couple of Christmas games that I like to play every single year. But yeah, that's going to be our main theme, so I think... two of us will go, we'll take a quick break, and then the other two will go, and we'll call it a night. But first, before I jump into anything, I just wanted to say that a cool thing happened to me this evening. So I was at work earlier today, and I checked my phone real quick, and I had a message from our all-around good guy and friend of the show, Mr. Mike Sheridan. And he had tagged me in a post on Facebook that was from the Level Up Entertainment, which is a local video game store. And they had posted a picture that they just got 2 rare amiibos in, the Marth and the Wii Fit Trainer. And I was lucky and fast enough to score myself a Wii Fit Trainer amiibo. So I finally have my very first amiibo.
And it's the Wii Fit Trainer.
Absolutely, it's the Wii Fit Trainer. See, here's the part that really gets me about this. Like, all right, so in case anybody doesn't know, this amiibo thing has been kind of a Amiibo-geddon. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on with these figures. Like, and it's just in America. Nintendo of Japan, Nintendo of Europe have handled the amiibo thing brilliantly. If you want an amiibo, you go to a store, you buy one. Simple as that. Some characters there's more of than others, but that's just the nature of the beast. Nintendo of America, for some reason, decided, we haven't smoked enough crack lately. Let's smoke all the crack and take this product that's clearly going to make us a ton of money and make it as difficult as possible to get stuff. There's retailer exclusives all over the place, nowhere near enough supply to meet demand on a lot of these characters. From the first wave, Marth, Wii Fit Trainer, and Animal Crossing Villager are all, impossible to find. Marth is going for, $60 on eBay right now. The Wii Fit Trainer's going for, $40 and $50, and I don't know what the Villager is going for, and honestly, I don't care. When they first announced these things, the Smash Brothers Amiibo things, I saw the Wii Fit Trainer one and said, that's the one for me. I want that one, because nobody wants that one. And I'm guarantee I'll be able to just walk into a store and buy one, because who the hell's buying the Wii Fit Trainer? As it turns out, everybody is. And this one's one of the rare ones, and I had never even seen it in person. There's actually a handful of these things that I really wanted that I've never even seen. Like the Pit one, the Pit Amiibo, who was my favorite Nintendo character, came out this week, gone. I mean, absolutely gone. Not available on Amazon, not available on GameStop, not available anywhere. It is gone and apparently never coming back. Because Nintendo was like, yeah, some of the characters weren't really as popular as other ones, and those aren't going to get, those aren't going to be restocked. And I'm thinking, how could they not be as popular? You've sold all of them. 100% sell-through on these characters, and you're not going to put more of them out there?
Well, Chris, you're missing the fact that they didn't sell as fast as they wanted, so they're going to fuck everyone over and just say, we're not doing it anymore, and you'll have to wait for the next really super rare one because capitalism is awesome.
But that's the part I don't understand. There's clearly demand for these things, and I don't understand the fast enough part. This is the first time I've ever seen Wii Fit Trainer. It was one of the first ones that came out. It was part of the first wave that came out the day Smash Bros. Came out. I have never seen half of these. I never saw the Marth, the Villager, or the Wii Fit Trainer before today. And I still have never seen the Marth or the Villager because, they weren't in the store anymore. It was just the Wii Fit Trainer that I was lucky enough to have on hold. And all of the second wave, the only one I've seen is Zelda. Like, Little Mac's out there. He's gone. A friend of mine was very, very kind and bought me a Little Mac, so I'll be able to have him and hold him soon. But what's killing me is that there's a Mega Man amiibo coming out, and I have to have that. I need it in my life. It looks beautiful. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually go into a store and buy one. But yeah, I thought it was a neat story that I finally landed myself an amiibo, and I'm never going to sell this thing. I didn't buy it because it was all weird and collectible, and that made the guy at Level Up really happy. That as soon as he saw that it was me that was coming in for it, he was like, oh, I'm so glad this is you, because you're going to take this home and like it, and not just be one of these jerks that's tracking them all down and selling them on eBay. So, Amiibo-geddon.
Well, congratulations.
That was a heartfelt story, Chris. I want to put that up for a Pulitzer.
This is the most hipster goddamn thing I've ever heard of. I'm gonna get the Wii Fit Trainer because nobody else is gonna want her. I'm gonna be the cool kid. Yeah. That's all I got out of that entire story.
I have a serious attachment to the Wii Fit Trainer, right? I lost 60 pounds using Wii Fit. I love Wii Fit. I absolutely adore that program. And when I saw that there was gonna be a freaking action figure of this crazy lunatic woman who actually helped me lose weight, I was like, fuck yeah, I'll buy my little Wii Fit Trainer trophy and keep that in my house, reminding me that my pants used to be twice as big.
I don't know, you say action. It's more of an inaction figure.
Yeah, it's not an action figure. It's a figurine. It's a figurine.
A statuette.
A little mini statue, yes.
Well, Chris, I'm super happy for you.
I'm happy for me too.
We're not happy for anyone ever. So.
I'm disgusted.
Well, you're disgusting, so deal with it.
Just how dare you? How very dare you?
How very dare I? First amiibo is the Wii Fit Trainer. She looks awesome, too. Anywho's. Alright, Christmas games. Let's do this thing. Why don't we start off with Tiff?
Yay! I never get to start. Okay, my favorite Christmas game is actually kind of a four-parter because when it came out the first two times, it was mostly just a demo, and the second or the third and fourth time were full games. But my favorite is Christmas Lemmings, which is pretty much exactly like Lemmings, except the Lemmings wear little Santa suits, and the backgrounds are all snowy, and it plays Christmas music, and you have to scoop the guts out of snowmen to get past them. And it's my favorite Christmas game because, like all good Christmas things, it's actually not Christmas related in any way. They just painted some Christmassy crap on top of it and went, hey, Christmas. And that's how I feel like every Christmas themed thing should be. Like, don't actually put any effort into it, just put little Santa hats on them. But aside from all that, it actually is a really, really fun game. Lemmings was probably my first favorite puzzle game. Absolutely one of my favorites. I pride myself on being able to manage my Lemming death toll. For those of you who've never played Lemmings, which is a crime.
Yes, shame on you.
It is an old PC DOS game. It came on a little 3.5 floppy. And each level is... it sort of feels like a precursor to a lot of the like iOS games. Because you have individual levels that are all roughly around 3 minutes long. And each level, you have a certain number of lemmings to work with, and they're just little silly-looking dopey sprites, and all they really do is walk forward and run into something and turn around, or they walk forward and fall off of something and die. And then amongst your little lemming tribe, I almost said amiibos. I don't mean amiibos. Amongst your little lemming tribe, you can assign them jobs, like there are bashers and diggers and climbers and blockers, and those are all fairly self-explanatory. The diggers dig, the climbers climb, and whatever one of them does, everyone else will follow. So your goal is to get your lemmings from the part that they pour out of to the part that they pour into without killing all of them. And boy, howdy do they want to die. They want to fall off cliffs, they just want to kill themselves. They're apparently not a happy group. But with various combinations of getting one of them to dig a hole through to the other side, and then getting one of them to build some stairs up to another level, eventually you can get them to follow all along until they get to the end. And it's so it's the puzzle that you have to figure out with that, but it's also very fast paced, because once they start coming, they're coming and you're not stopping them. So you have to get through them fast enough so that they don't kill themselves while you're trying to make a path for them. And the Christmas one is no different. It's just it's, you know, instead of ground and dirt, you have snow and snowballs and snowmen that you have to get through. The main difference is the little Santa hat that's on the Lemmings is so cute that I often find this version of Lemmings the hardest to play, because I will just sit there and stare at them bob around with their little Christmas hats on instead of actually trying to save their lives. And it's so stinking cute. They got big old floppy feet and little floppy hats, and it's so much fun. So, yay, Christmas!
I love this game. I love Christmas Lemmings so much. If you didn't do this one, I probably would have done it. I play it every year. I still haven't played it yet this year. I'll probably play it as soon as we're done doing the podcast. I don't even know which year version I have. It was the first one that I had played, and I know that there's a couple different versions of it out there. It's one of the earlier ones. It's one of the first two, so it's just like a couple of levels.
Well, 91 and 92 are 4 levels, and those levels are kind of cheating, because I think 2 of them are actually levels from Oh No More Lemmings. They're just painted Christmassy.
Exactly, yeah. In fact, one of them isn't even painted Christmassy. It just looks like it's just a level from Oh No More Lemmings. Hooray!
Yeah, and then 3 and 4 that came out in 93 and 94 are actually full 16-level games.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've played those ones. I've definitely played the first 2, and I always play them. I'm pretty sure the one I have is the second one. It's the one where the music is primarily Jingle Bells.
Yeah,
and it's just
that's the second one.
God, I love it so much.
If you actually go onto the Wikipedia page for Christmas Lemmings, they have a link in there to download 3. 3 is freely available now.
Nice. I will have to do that tonight. And if the music is... I love the music in Lemmings so much. It has really, really one of my favorite soundtracks, especially as far as PC games are concerned. I grew up on the Super Nintendo version of Lemmings, was the first version I played, and I love the music in it so much. It's still in regular rotation on my iPod, the soundtrack to that game.
Yeah, 3 and 4 is back to the original music again. It's not... I'm pretty sure they thought that people would kill themselves after 16 levels of chiptunes.
Aww.
Christmas music. That you would kind of go insane a little bit. But, so yeah, the full games are back to it is vaguely Christmassy sounding, but it's back to regular Lemming music.
They Lemming musicized the Christmas songs, and I thought that was what was really cool. Like the version of Jingle Bells is it sounds like Lemmings music, but it's Jingle Bells. It's so good. I would love to hear more of that.
You know what I always thought it sounded like? Do you remember in Charlie Brown Christmas, and Lucy's asking Linus to play on his piano, and he's playing Mozart and Beethoven and whatnot, and she says no place in Christmas music, so he goes plunk 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 plunk, and she's like, see, I told you, isn't that better? And he rolls his eyes at her. That's what I feel like the Christmas Lemmings version of Jingle Bells is. It sounds so much like it was on one of those play school, My First Piano, the little plunky plunky ones. I'm not saying it's bad, it's adorable.
No, it's actually done on a xylophone.
It really doesn't sound like
a
xylophone.
It sounds like DOS. That's
yeah.
what it sounds like on mine.
It
doesn't really sound much like instruments. Alright, well, if nobody minds, I think I'll go next.
I mind, I want to go again. I'm kidding. You can go ahead.
Awesome. Cause all right. So before we started recording, we kind of talked about what games we were going to talk about. I know Dean's, and it's going to be very amusing to talk about, and it's dubious Christmasosity, since that's now a word. And Dan won't tell us what he's doing, so I'm pretty excited to find out about that. So I'll go now, because I have a genuine Christmas game to talk about, which is also kind of leans more towards the demo aspect of it, because it's not really a full game. But Christmas Nights for the Sega Saturn. Nights into Dreams was a Sonic Team game. It was a pretty brilliant and simple concept. It was just a really fun game where you are just this weird little jester-looking creature, and you fly around and make loops, and there's not a lot of action to it. It was just a very pretty and very fun experience. It was really one of the cooler, weirder games on the Sega Saturn, and it had a huge cult following. People begged for a sequel. It finally came out on Wii, and it was okay. But back on the Saturn days, Sega gave out, I believe for free, Christmas Nights, which was just the first couple of levels of Nights into Dreams, all done up Christmassy, where your little jester was dressed in a little Santa-type outfit, and you would fly through the air. The little jester's character's name is Nights. And you would just basically play the same levels of the game, but they were all Christmas themed. So all the rings that you flew through were Christmas wreaths, and everything was snowy, and it had this really, really great 90s video game CD-based soundtrack version of like Christmas music it was so uniquely Sega, and it was a cool thing. Kind of reminded me of, when they used to do cool Christmassy type things for games, like with Christmas Lemmings every year. And you don't see a lot of that much nowadays. I mean, Cave Story's got a really cool thing where if you play Cave Story near Christmas, quote, we'll be wearing a Santa hat. It's just cute. But yeah, Christmas Nights.
Did that come in a magazine?
Possibly. I honestly I'm completely unsure of the original distribution of that game and how it got out to people. It might have been in Sega Visions. I'm not sure.
I feel like I have a vague memory of seeing a shrunk wrap magazine on a newsstand with the disc in front.
That sounds familiar too. That sounds really familiar to me. Well, I'm sure we'll fact check it and look it up at some point. But the fact that they gave it out as a Christmas present was really cool. And the PS3 version of Nights into Dreams includes it. There was a PS3 downloadable version of Nights, which was actually the PlayStation 2 re-release of Nights, which has it's the same game. They just clean the graphics up an awful lot, and it looks really nice. So I'll be probably busting out my PS3 version instead of digging up my Saturn, because my Saturn is in storage at the moment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that in Christmas Lemmings, and I just love Nights. Have you guys ever played Nights before?
I have. Yeah, it's cool.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah, it's a calming game. It's not a lot of action to it. You're just fly. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just it's got a very it's just got this very like lovely visual style to it, and just like a nice kind of soothing mix of sounds, and like I wouldn't so much call it a game. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's not like when you think of video game, Nights isn't the first thing that jumps.
Different than what was going on at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a racing game to an extent.
Yeah, everything that was going on at the time I felt was so like frenetic, and let's try and get it faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yes.
It was really, it was just a time when Sonic Team was a really talented studio. And I appreciated what they did with that, because the old Sonic games were great, and then they made it to Saturn, and, there's a large contingent of people on the internet that are angry that Sonic Extreme never came out, but it was back when they did quality control for the Sonic franchise. We're like, no, this game is not good, we're not going to release it. It's not done, it's not ready to go, we're not going to release it. And then Sonic Team made great things like Nights, and I'm pretty sure they were involved in Burning Rangers too, which was another great Saturn game. But there was quality control type stuff on the Saturn, and I really appreciated that. And I thought Nights was it was clearly a passion project. It was clearly something they really wanted to make. and it was a really fun game. And the Christmas version I had never owned my own copy of it until I think 2 years ago when a friend of mine had seen that I didn't own it and was just like, here, I got this for you because it's stupid that you don't own this.
Because you, of all people, should have this.
Because it's not expensive. And so he gave me a copy of Christmas Nights, and I was so happy. And as my friend Mauricio, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but if you do, I play Christmas Nights every year, and I appreciate it every stinking year. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, Christmas Nights, I love that game. Love it to death. I truly do. Alrighty, well, we're off to a jolly start, but we're going to take ourselves a quick little break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the 2 other mystery games, so stick around. And welcome back, everybody. That was a fun break.
It was great.
I just watched a skeleton dance to strange hip-hop music, and it was amazing. And my life will never be the same. But back to the Christmas spirit, we're going to go with Mr. Dean next. Dean, what's your Christmas game?
So, I mean, it's good that we split up the games this way because Chris and Tiff did cutesy things that are adorable and they remind everyone of Christmas. While me and Dan, we're here to fuck shit up, and that's what we're going to do. My game is Clayfighter, which, I mean, you could really take any of them in the series, but I'm just going to go with the OG, the original. And for those of you who don't know what Clayfighter is, that was a game on, I believe, the Super Nintendo that came out, and it just featured these overdone claymation graphics of I don't know what to call them, caricatures of, I guess, classic characters. Namely, the one being that I want to focus on right now is a gigantic angry snowman called Bad Mr. Frosty. Did I get that correct?
I believe you did.
Yeah, you did.
Good.
Bad Mr. Frosty.
Yeah, the game's amazing. It's a very out there, sort of almost vulgar game, but I mean, it's just so much fun to watch and play and watch these characters beat the crap out of each other. He's just this no-nonsense, like, angry snowman. He's something you'd probably almost see in a horror movie, close to that extent. He's great. He's got these gigantic snowball muscles going on. He wears a top hat. He just always looks pissed off. And, I mean, to be honest, I like Christmas, but I also like playing video games that make me laugh. And I don't really know any, like, real Christmas games, but I played this game when I was a kid, and it was fantastic. Like, I squeed with joy every time, like, I played this game, and playing as Bad Mr. Frosty is one of my favorite things ever. And I tell you what, I'm probably going to do it on Christmas now, and I'm probably going to make that a new tradition to do that. I mean, who doesn't love to beat the shit out of a gigantic Valkyrie with a gigantic snowman? I mean, it goes together so well.
She was Helga, right? The
yeah,
Valkyrie.
And then there's, I believe, another character who's like basically Elvis's hair gel called Blue Suede Goo.
Blue Suede Goo.
He's great. Ichabod
Clay.
Yeah, Ichabod Clay. He's another one. There's the
Blob. Blob was my
is
favorite.
Cool.
I loved Blob because he could do that saw blade thing, and Taffy was pretty cool too.
Yeah, but the end boss, whose name was End Boss.
End Boss, there you go.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the whole game's just a lot of fun, man. And, I mean, if you guys haven't played it, it's definitely worth a look. It's come out multiple times. I believe there's one on the N64, which would probably be the last entry. It's called Clayfighter 63 and a quarter.
63 and a third.
I was close.
And then you've got Well, actually, funny you mention it. The 63 1/3 Sculptor's Cut is actually one of the most rare N64 games.
Wasn't that the Blockbuster exclusive one?
Yep. I don't know what made it special. I mean,
about to
that
ask
game
what
had
made it
like
different.
Earthworm Jim in it and
That
stuff too.
game
Yeah,
was very cool. That it did an exclusive like that.
And Boogerman.
Boogerman, yeah.
Boogerman was something else. He have people forgotten about him? Like, I feel like people know Earthworm Jim, but do people really know Boogerman?
They shouldn't.
People know of Boogerman. It was, it was a game.
It existed.
You know what's, that's another weird collector thing. Let's see if my brain's working right on this. It came out on Super NES and Genesis. I think the Super NES version is like crazy rare and like super expensive, while the Genesis version is just like $7. And I have no idea why. Like, maybe the Super NES version was really, like, shorted or something like that. But, yeah, one of those two versions is stupid expensive, and the other one is, like, just whatever. But, yeah, Clayfighters. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, because, like, this came out at the heyday of the fighting game.
Of the Street Fighter clones, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just make a fighting game, and all of you assholes will buy it. Every single one of you.
They were kind of right.
No, they absolutely were. Like, you had Clayfighter, and you had Time Killers, and you had War Gods, and you had fucking,
Hey Punk, are you tough enough? That game was... I couldn't believe that was real. I rented that game just because it was called Hey Punk, are you tough enough?
Oh, God.
You did that so well.
I mean, like, and Primal Rage.
Oh, Primal Rage. Can we save that for another day? Because I could talk about that game all day. All day.
But, like, there were just so many, like, crazy, terrible, like, just these awful fighting games.
Street Fighter clones. Kasumi Ninja.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I mean, well, they all relied on they all relied on gimmicks. You know, I mean, Clayfighter had probably one of the biggest gimmicks. Is one, it was vulgar, and two, it was in this claymation style with all these caricature type people, and I mean, that was the selling point for it. It wasn't that you could fight and, you know, have all these awesome mechanics. It was that it was funny. I mean, I don't really think there was much more substance to it, to be honest. But just to see, like, all the silly catchphrases and stuff and all the moves, it's definitely worth a play. And like I said, Bad Mr. Frosty is definitely a awesome winter/Christmas character. I'm gonna throw him in for Christmas because he's just a cool guy, man. He's the baddest of the bad as far as winter characters go. He'd beat the shit out of Frosty the Snowman in a second.
I don't know, man. In Clayfighter 63 1/3, there is Sumo Santa.
Well, I think we're gonna have to do a YouTube video for that battle going on.
I like it.
Oh, heck yeah. No, in Bad Mr. Frosty, I remember being like, he was like the mascot.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
For the franchise too. Like, he was on the box, and like he had these really creepy looking branch fingers. Like, you know, instead of having the tree branches for arms, they made these like fingers, so he'd make like these snowball branch fists. Like, he was a pretty cool character design. I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not really a huge Christmas games guy. When I was younger, my Christmas games were bloody massacre type titles, you know, and not that I asked for them, it was just what was popular at the time. You know, if my parents went into a store and they're like, "Oh, you know, what should we get, you know, little Dean for Christmas?" And they're like, "Yeah, you should totally get him NFL Game Day 98 and Twisted Metal 2. Neither of those are Christmas type games, and the former is like just a bloody mess of ridiculousness, and I love that game to no end. But I mean, you think about it, you know, when kids ask for Christmas games, they're not asking for like Santa's Sleigh Reindeer Roundup or anything. They're asking for Call of Duty and shit. Yeah, you know what? You can keep that, and you can make that your next video game. If you guys ever develop something, call it that. I guarantee you make $1 million.
It's our next Kickstarter.
There you go. Santa's Sleigh Reindeer Roundup.
There you go. It's almost as good as Bug Bandits.
Almost as good.
Nothing will ever be as good as Bug Bandits.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I used to rent this game a lot from Captain Video, which was the local video store nearby me when we were growing up, and I used to love I got a real kick out of this game because Street Fighter 2, I'm sure I mentioned on the show before, it was like a life-altering situation for me. I friggin' loved Street Fighter 2 like to no end, and with that and Mortal Kombat, I used to really dig checking out all the other fighting games that were out there, like King of Fighters and King of the Monsters and whatever the heck else. And I remember I also rented Hey Punk, Are You Tough Enough from Captain Video, but I remember renting Clayfighter and thinking that it was just amusing enough to keep renting. Like, it wasn't a great fighting game. Kind of like the original Mortal Kombat isn't a great fighting game, but there was something in the presentation that was really just clever and amusing. And I dig Claymation. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think Claymation's awesome, and playing it on a video game was a smart move on their part, because you can make clay look really good in a video game. And when the Super Nintendo and Genesis were out, they had just enough colors on the screen to be able to really pull off clay. And you don't really see that visual style too much. I'm really excited for the new Kirby game coming out on Wii U, the Rainbow Curse, because that game is also done in Claymation, which really just looks amazing in HD. But yeah, Clayfighter was... I'm kind of glad that franchise died, because it didn't have a whole lot of life in it to begin with. But yeah, it was... I'm glad I played it, and I don't know if it's a Christmas game. It's a little dubious there, but Bad Mr. Frosty, he's a snowman. We'll give it to you.
It's certainly Christmas game adjacent. It
was a notable flash in the pan as far as a franchise goes. That's just one of those ones that sticks out just because of what it was.
Indeed. All right. Well, Dan, what the hell?
All right. So, okay, Sunsoft, I believe, is responsible for one of your very, very favorite games, Chris, in Blaster Master, correct?
Blaster Master is one of my very favorite games, okay. Yes.
Sunsoft was a relatively well-respected company, mostly NES, SNES. There are some TurboGrafx 16, some Genesis, some PlayStation shit that they put out, but they're mostly known for like Blaster Master and Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, which is so incredibly offensive as a title. But
I love Zero though.
Well, yeah, but they're known for their platformers, and one of the platformers that they made has a very interesting distinction. In the history of Australia, there has been one game that has come out exclusively in Australia for the Sega Mega Drive. This game was also released in Europe, but only Germany, and Australia as well for the Super Nintendo.
Dan, Trivia Week was last week.
I'm going somewhere with this. The interesting thing about that is that it was a game developed by Sunsoft USA. This game, which I am positive that none of you have played besides Tiff, because she played it with me earlier today, is called Daze Before Christmas.
With a Z.
With a Z, so you know
like
it's
Dazed
edgy.
and Confused.
Yeah. Now, in the story of Days Before Christmas, you play as Santa Claus. And your mission throughout this game is to go through 24 different levels, because there are 24 days in December before Christmas, and all your levels come up through a little level select screen that is an advent calendar, which is just goddamn adorable. And in this game, you have to go get back your elves and your reindeer
and
your presents that were stolen by a storm cloud, a giant evil snowman, a watch, and like this bunny rabbit looking thing.
No, he's a rat.
Or a rat, yeah, that's what.
Like the rat came from.
He's like a big rat. To do this, you walk around these levels in a basic, like an average little platformer, and you throw like snowballs, I think is what they're supposed to be. It looks like they come out of your beard. It looks like beard dust. But you throw snowballs at enemies, and they turn into presents, and you collect the presents. And every now and again, you find a power-up that turns your snowballs into fireballs. And you just walk around the level, basically killing penguins and jack-in-the-boxes and snowmen that throw their heads at you, and spiders for no goddamn reason whatsoever.
Well, because you're in the basement in that level. There's spiders in the basement.
Yeah,
I don't know whose basement you're in, but it's a really big basement.
And that's basically the gist of the game. You go through and you just go through these levels and you get to boss fights. And after every boss fight, whether it be against a snowman or a rat or whatever, you then go into a side-scrolling flying mission where you have only 2 reindeer leading your sleigh. And you have to throw the presents that you have collected throughout the levels into the chimneys of various locations around the world, like London and Russia and shit like that. Where this game gets weird, if that's not weird enough, is that Santa Claus is able to collect a power-up in this game. And you would think that if Santa Claus was going to drink something, what would he drink? So Milk, or if he was going to drink a hot beverage, perhaps?
Horse piss.
Didn't see that one coming.
Nope, it's not milk or horse piss. Chris?
Hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate. That would be your thought. But no. In this game, Santa Claus drinks a cup of coffee. And when you drink this cup of coffee, you turn into Anti-Claus. And that's his fucking name, is Anti-Claus. And you turn red and grow devil horns, and your suit turns blue, and you're invincible.
And you start whacking people with your bag.
Instead of throwing snowballs or fireballs if you collect the power-up, you beat the shit out of everything in the level with your sack full of toys.
Wow.
It lasts for like 10 seconds, and then you turn back into regular Santa. Anti-Claus. Because Santa Claus drinks a cup of coffee. It is, by far, the best Christmas game that has ever been, because it's, you play as Santa Claus. And it is one of the weirdest goddamn things that has ever existed. Like, you can only get it, you could import European versions of it, because the entire game is in English, even though it was released in Germany. And Australia, exclusively for the Sega Mega Drive. Came out in 1994. It's insane. It's insane that something like this exists.
I sort of feel like maybe there was an intern one year at Sunsoft that knew the project.
That kind of seems like what it was. Of just like, hey, make a game with Santa Claus. Well, what if he has devil horns? Because it's the 90s and everything's extreme.
Well, the funniest thing about the game is that it is an overlay of the We're Back, A Dinosaur's Tale video game.
Yeah, it's basically just...
animated movie. It's the same game, they just redid the sprites.
And that game is terrible.
Yeah, it's so, like... the really frustrating thing about playing this game, because, like, it's an average platformer. It's a little floaty, like 90s platformers where, like, the controls are a little floaty, but they're playable, certainly.
Ooh, there's a magic carpet at some point.
Yeah, there's a magic carpet for some goddamn reason. But like a lot of those platformer games, one of the problems that they had was that the camera is so zoomed in that you're always kind of running to the right blindly, so you get hit a lot. Like your life bar is little Santa hats.
Platform to platform, when you jump, you can no longer see the platform, so you just kind of have to hope that something is below you.
Yeah, like if you go back and look at like classic video games, a lot of those games could have been called Leap of Faith, the game, because you just had to. I assume there's going to be a platform here that I'm jumping towards. Fuck if I know, but oh look, there was. Good, I'm not dead. Right? So that's frustrating. But it's like, we'll put a link in the show notes. There's reviews up on YouTube. There's a long play up on YouTube. It takes like an hour for the guy to get through all 24 levels. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some information about it. It's developed by a Norwegian company.
Yeah, like
Funcom.
We keep adding countries.
Who knew? Like, so many people, I think, like, or maybe this is just my bias because I think lots of people are dumb because I used to work in video game stores. Like, so many people think that games just are made by either Japanese guys or American guys. But, like, here you have this little Norwegian company putting out a very strange...
Norwegian company developing a game through an American...
Through a Japanese company, through their USA subsidiary... That only comes out in Australia and Germany.
Yeah, like this. I love this paragraph. This is the description paragraph on Wikipedia. Days Before Christmas is a video game developed by Norwegian video game development company Funcom and originally released by Sunsoft onto the Mega Drive in '94 exclusively in Australia. A version was also released for the Super NES both in Europe, only in Germany, and Australia. A North American release was planned, however it was cancelled. It is one of the last games to be released by Sunsoft's USA division. The game is one of the few Christmas-themed video games to see commercial release. That is bananas.
It's insane. It's insane.
And the thing you were talking about, that it's what is it? There was one of the developers said that he integrated the source code. What does it say? He also stated he integrated the source code from the Funcom developed video game based on We're Back the Dinosaur Story into Days Before Christmas. So like, it's not necessarily a reskin. It's just like, well, here's the stuff, and we're just going to kind of play around with it a little bit and make a game about Santa beating up people with a sack of toys. What the hell?
And when you duck, like, if you're Santa Claus and you duck, you go inside your hat. Like you entirely disappear.
Down to a hat with little eyeballs.
Yeah, like your little eyes are hanging out. Or when you're Anti-Claus and you duck, you like go inside your sack of toys. It's, oh god, it's just so goddamn weird.
I'm really glad you added of toys there.
Not just that you go into your sack.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be juvenile. And I would never make a ball sack joke.
Yeah, you would, Dan, and you did.
You're right.
Thank you.
All right, so here's another little fun piece of this. Like, this is great, right? So I'm checking out the box arts. The Genesis one, or the Mega Drive one, it's just like, it's got this goofy-looking, clearly drunk Santa.
It's a Looney Tunes ripoff.
Yeah, like, this looks like it's attempting to be Looney Tunes. Like, that is definitely the art style they're aping. But the Mega Drive version, it's because the Mega Drive boxes were all vertical rectangles. It's, this drunk Santa popping out of a box and there's a little basketball. However, if you look at the Super NES version, you get to see the full widescreen version of the artwork, and there's like this little blue Cadillac sitting next to him. Like, I guess it's supposed to be a toy because it's next to this basketball, but it's like, it's just drunk Santa, ripped open present.
Why is Santa the same size as the basketball? He's tiny.
Yeah, like, is this midget Santa? Like, or is that just a really big basketball? Or maybe that's an actual, the car is in full scale, and so it's a giant basketball and an even more giant Santa? I don't know. But the tree is a weird...
Normal-sized Cadillac.
This is all very strange.
I don't want to see a drunk Santa fucking screaming down the freeway, like, sticking out of the roof of a Cadillac with the roof ripped off, like, just fucking beating the shit out of people. There's a cop chase going on. Oh my god. Crazy Santa, like, 8 feet tall on cops. Yeah, I want that. I hope that happens.
It's just lovely and brilliant. And, like, the game itself, it looks really nice.
It is surprisingly pretty for kind of a mediocre, what seemingly throwaway title for the time. The animation, if you will, it is pretty. The colors are all very sharp. They did a nice job on the rendering, but
yeah, he looks really good.
Why?
It does look a lot like a Looney Tunes type game, like it's those really bright colors and the bright expressive eyes and his big dumb red nose. Like, it's just, I love it. Like, I love that this exists.
The giant spiders that every video game in the early 90s had to have in it.
Yeah, for no reason.
Remember, kids, be good for Christmas, or drunk Santa's gonna come fucking find you in his Cadillac and beat the shit out of you with a bag of toys.
Well, I'm sure it's a better game than Santa Claus Saves the Earth for Game Boy Advance, because
agreed.
It certainly
that
is.
Game was terrifying.
I played that earlier today too, because I was deciding between the two games to cover for this, and I'm glad I went with Days Before Christmas.
Clearly you have this emulated, right? I'm assuming you don't actually have a cartridge of this laying around somewhere.
No.
Of course I own the cartridge, sir. Emulation is illegal. However, if you were looking for a way to play this game, it is readily available just with a quick Google search.
Oh, as long as you have the cartridge, of course.
Of course, you have to own the cartridge. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you would only have a ROM as a legal backup for something.
Of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Who would be crazy enough to do something else like that?
I love Christmas. I buy Christmas things.
Oh God. Well, Dan, thank you for bringing this game to my attention, because you're absolutely right. I was unaware of it, and now my life is thoroughly enriched because I'm fully aware that this brilliant piece of gaming exists, and I now really want my own, but I'll never find one.
No, you won't.
Expensive on eBay.
You will not find it.
They don't even seem to be popping up that often. They're not even listed on videogamepricecharting.com. So, pretty cool. Well, hooray! Merry Christmas. I don't know. I'm definitely in the Christmas spirit. I love this time of year, and I'm down here closer to my family, so I'm really excited to be able to spend Christmas with them, and I'm hopeful. I got a couple of games that are on my Christmas list. I'm super hoping for. I would really like to get Hyrule Warriors and/or Bayonetta 2. I think those games are on my Christmas list. What about you guys?
Team Toad.
Oh, Captain Toad.
Captain Toad.
Good point. That's got to be on my Christmas list too.
I don't know. Since we did just get the Wii U, I really want to play Wonderful 101.
I put that on our Gameplay queue.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about that game. It looks so fantastically strange and
it's
singular
bizarre as heck.
in what it is. You know, like it doesn't look. It looks like the type of game where
nothing like it.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's like it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it is not a flawless experience, but it is a unique experience, and I'm glad I own it. I'm happy to have that in my collection. What about you, Dean? What games do you want for Christmas?
Porn.
What?
Porn?
What?
Porn games? So
Mountains and mountains of porn.
Night Trap?
Actually, no, and realistically, I really haven't been able to get around to a lot of games. I want a lot of Steam stuff and a lot of stuff on GOG.com. Okay, you shun me all you want, but I've never played the original Sam & Max games. So I really wanted to play those. I wanted to get the Telltale Wolf Among Us games that are go along the Fables.
Yeah.
I heard
story
those
from
are
the
really
comics.
good.
Really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you know, I just haven't had a chance to play anything. I wanted to get the Monkey Island games just because I've only played like one of them. So, you know, I'd be happy to kind of just start getting this stuff. Unfortunately, I'm getting none of that because I already got. Well, I know what I'm getting for Christmas because I'm old, and that's what happens when you get old. People don't surprise you anymore; they just ask what you want.
Hey man, I'm older than you. I have no idea what I'm getting for Christmas.
Well, then you got cool people going on. People just. Well, actually, I don't know what my girlfriend got me. I know what my parents got me, so I'm excited to see what my girlfriend got me. I'm sure she got me some awesome shirt. She always manages to get me these ridiculous things she gets me little tchotchkes and
Tchotchkes.
Yes.
We all
tchotchkes.
live in the Northeast.
Yeah, we do.
Nobody else fucking
and,
says tchotchkes.
As
Well-
it happens, there are a couple of tchotchkes on their way for you, my good sir.
Ooh, tchotchkes.
See?
Love them.
Yeah. See. Yeah. So, for my birthday, she got me Adventure Time drinking glasses, pint glasses, and she got me Pac-Man Band-Aids because I'm always getting
Because
hurt,
they exist, that's
yeah,
why.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
they exist.
Yeah, you know, so it was something like that, and I'm every time I open something like that, my mouth's always agape, how, where did you find these? And then you know, she always gets me little things that just kind of remind me about who I am and why I am the person I am. She got me a fucking Lego set because she knows I love Superman. So when the Superman movie came out, she got me one of the DC hero sets that it's Superman versus Zod, and they're the car blows up and stuff, and I was like, this is amazing.
And it was accurate, too, because you could just spin Zod's head right the fuck around, just like Superman.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Too far.
So, yeah, you know, I'm excited to see what she gets me. But, yeah, you know, I got a tablet and a new SSD hard drive, which I needed, so we can keep doing what we do on the website. So, yeah.
Hooray!
That's
Well,
exciting.
speaking of the website, we're going to wrap up this episode with, clearly we did our little Christmas list there, and nobody's going to top Dan's game, because what the hell. So, Dean, why don't you take us home, give us the regular plugs and all that info.
Okay, guys, if you need any of our links for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our emails, just to get on the website or anything, check out the show notes below. We even have a contact us link there, so you don't even have to find our email, even though it is listed right in the show notes below. So again, for anything at all, just check out the show notes and you'll find all the information that you need.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dean. Also, by the way, there are some really big changes, big exciting changes coming for Geek Life very soon. So stay tuned, tell your friends. We're working on getting you guys a lot more original content in a bunch of different mediums. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a really interesting 2015 for us. So on behalf of everybody here, happy holidays, however you choose to celebrate them. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week for... we're going to tell stories about our favorite Christmas present experience since we'll be recording this next week after Christmas. So we're going to talk about that next week. And if you have any excellent Christmas stories that you want to share with us, send them in. We have our email address, we have our Facebook page, we have all sorts of ways to get in touch with us. We would love to hear.
Show notes.
Exactly, it's in the show notes. We would love to hear your stories of your favorite Christmas games, your favorite Christmas gaming experiences, and yeah. Have a happy and safe holiday, everybody. We'll talk to you after Christmas. Good night.
My dog's non-discriminatory. I could give her a phone, and I'm pretty sure she'd think it's a cookie and eat it.
I want a sack delivered to my door, just like those cartoon money bags from the bank, except just has granola written on the side. That's how I want it.
Wow! Merry Christmas, motherfucker. There you go.
There it is.